and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
2 days in a row on the pontoon, Big D energy. Let's go. 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty here with your favorite uncle, Detroit sports media.
I think you're selling yourself
fine,
short.
young man. What?
You're not driving the pontoon. That's a speedboat, bro.
No, we got some double Hemis in this pontoon. Terry Foster, Detroit sports media legend, better known as Uncle Terry. Joined, as always, by the legend killer himself, Sam Flannel, and our one and only Spen Mo Rax. How's everybody doing here on a hump day? Wednesday.
I am ready. I'm only fearful of one thing. Tomorrow, I really want to go to opening day, but they're talking about tornadoes coming in here, so I'm afraid if my house isn't on the ground, I'm going to opening day. If the tornadoes come and knock it to the ground, I guess that's going to be out.
Well, as I was prepping and walking by the TVs, I noticed that they moved the home opener because of snow and cold in Minnesota. So they haven't moved our home opener. So
it's supposed to be nice here.
It's supposed to be really nice here.
If we survive today.
And we're going to be downtown. Yes, the morning show with Adam and Jeff. And then Big D Energy. Oh, yes, Neil will be back from hanging out with the princesses and the queens and all the royalty and stuff like that. And we got some good pictures from Neil's crazy adventures that we were going to share a little bit later on. But we're going to be down there. And the bottom line, Spenny, you and we figured it was a great executive decision. It shows a lot of maturity. The fact that the heavyweights will be back in studio, that'd be a really, really long day for everybody. Plus,
everybody's going to be gone from downtown by the time they come on.
Or the ones that aren't, probably you don't want around the show.
The people
anyway.
who are still downtown at like 6 or 7 o'clock are going to be so drunk.
Yep.
They won't know what's happening.
Yeah, I've got my dad already said that he is going to be able to drop off and pick up. So we
nice.
got the getaway
shout
car.
out to Danny Raxter and the Uber.
Yep.
Uber on opening day. So yes, take that. We will be down on the corner outside the music hall on the corner of Madison and Randolph. Mm-hmm. So we will be out there. It's going to be a nice day.
Keep it dry for you.
Keep it dry a little bit. If you haven't seen it, from what I hear, Spetty and Sam would actually know. Sam, like I say, he's whether we agree with him or not, he puts in a lot of work behind the scenes here, sort of the grind line of Woodward Sports. Pulling out all the stops tomorrow, I hear. Sam, is that true as far as setup and everything?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. We're going to get down there early, have a big setup outside of the tent. We're going to have our own little area where we broadcast from. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be worth it. And I can't wait to meet all of the people that, if you guys want to come up and say hi, I'm actually very, very nice. All of us are very, very nice. I'm looking forward to it. I like getting the energy of the people. It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a fun day. It's going to be so worth it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but and here's the thing for people who have been down and have been to out and about with us to a live podcast, a live broadcast and stuff like this. From what I hear, we're pulling out all the stops and pulling out some new stuff and things that we haven't debuted before. So even
let's hang on now. Are they going to have that styrofoam desk down there? Or are they going to have a real desk?
Well, Terry, this is from. I'm letting out the rumors that I heard walking through. You know, they don't tell me anything. Okay.
So
but
no styrofoam desk.
That's why I'm trying to pick Sam's brain right now. I think they got some surprises for everybody down there. We're gonna have a great day.
And I'm tasked with a little bit of responsibility before I can just go balls to the wall for a little while. I'm going to be getting some interviews, some on the street stuff. I was told PG-13 content.
PG-13 content. So please.
So he's got to do all his interviews before 12:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Because after that, you never know what you're going to get.
Exactly. So I'm going to get down there at 7 o'clock, I think, 7:30ish. Start the day off right. Do some interviews for around the Brass Rail area. I'll be interviewing me, Easy, and I think Lucas, and maybe Jeff Ifrady. We're going to be interviewing some people.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to see everybody's excitement and stuff like that. Obviously, we are
opening day is going to be more fun now because the Tigers actually won a couple games.
Well, I was going to say we are going to talk about and get into the Tigers. Actually, I'm going to save that for after the first break. But Uncle Terry, you're the one that said, you sat here and said, I believe that the Tigers could have 2 wins. Coming home, they've set themselves up that they might be able to get 3 wins. And stuff like that. But you were talking about it. It is a different atmosphere, no matter how the Tigers' opening day is when they come in after when people have some high hope expectations, right?
No, you're correct. And here's the thing: the Ilitch family doesn't get. If you don't have to have a great team. If you have just a competitive team, one that's not going to get their asses kicked every day, people will show up, they'll have fun, they'll spend money, and they'll be enthusiastic about this team. If the Tigers are 3-3 tomorrow, man, opening day is going to be on fire. It's going to be on fire anyway, even if they go 2-4.
Well, it's like borrowed money, and when's the last time that we said that the Tigers and the Red Wings not only went into Toronto and went into Montreal, and I know really they're playing spoiler, but they're playing some good hockey with some of the future. Now, last night, Marco Kasper, and being 18 years old, why would he not? Traveling across the world, have a little lower body injury or whatever. But, I mean, a shutout in Montreal and stuff like this. So I guess it's take the little bright spots where you can get them. But we're sitting here talking about the future and, getting excited for opening day. The weather's supposed to be nice. Like, Terry, that's the one thing. Do you remember? I remember opening day, and I believe it was 90. It was my first year, so it was opening day 93, and myself, Bob Probert, Vinnie Johnson from the Pistons, Sheldon Kennedy, a couple other guys. We rode our Harleys down to Tiger Stadium, and it was like 35 degrees, but we had all the things. But I remember some cold opening days, so that'll be nice. Also, something else people look forward to. Do you remember any of those?
I remember this very first opening day at Comerica Park. The stadium wasn't complete. So first of all, when we got there was snow on the ground at Comerica Park, outfield, infield, all where there was snow. So it was just a little glaze. I'm thinking they're not gonna play this. They went out with the fire hose and hosed it down. All the snow disappeared, and so. But the other thing, I remember I was walking around left field. All of a sudden, this geyser of water just sprays up out of the ground, and that was because the pipes weren't totally set, and that Comerica was leaking at spots. So it wasn't even. They opened the ballpark, but it wasn't totally complete. And so that was the very first game at Comerica Park. It was cold, too. And I am so happy that Major League Baseball, and sometimes it doesn't make a difference, but decided if you're going to start in March, don't start in March in Detroit.
Or Cleveland.
Or
Minnesota.
Always, they would always say, okay, we're going to start on March 29th. Let's start in Detroit. Let's play 6 games in Detroit, and then next week go to Tampa or go to L.A. or go to Houston. That made no sense. But it's absolutely ignorant.
But then you get the great shot of Miguel Cabrera hitting a home run through the snow like we did last year.
Okay, yes, you did get that.
That was cool.
But
yeah, that was.
How about the comfort of your fans?
No, you're right. Which let's stay on opening day. Terry, I ask you, what is the one thing? Is there one thing that you look forward to about opening day every year?
Yes, being with my friends and drinking beer.
Hell yeah.
I'm not even going to go to the game. I'm just hanging out downtown. Gonna be with my folks. And please, people, I'm in a bereaved state. Don't judge me when you see me tomorrow. So
we are in mourning. Terry's choosing tomorrow that he's prerequisiting that he's been saving this because he's going to be around a lot of his loved ones and people that care a lot about him, and he knows it. So, so as the young kids say, he's going to get at it.
Right. I have two friends called Bun and Funs. Not Funds, but Bun and Fun. I'm going to hang out with them tomorrow and then a couple other people. So
I love it. What about you, Spenny? Is there any things you look forward to opening day more than anything?
The people. I think the people being out on the street, everybody being excited for baseball for at least one day until it wears off, and then you realize the Tigers still suck. But it's a good atmosphere. It's, everybody's down there, everybody's having fun, having a good time. That's what I like the most of it.
How about you, Sam?
Yeah, the thing is, during the season, it can be kind of a long season, some of the dog days, especially when the Tigers aren't very good. There's these random 1:10 weekday games against the Royals where there's not a ton of buzz at Comerica Park, but at least for one day, hopefully more days than one, but at least for one day, Detroit is a baseball city and everybody shows out and everybody is excited. I even looked to last season. It didn't turn out well, but that first game where they came back and Javier Baez hit the walk-off, the city was a buzz, basically. It was electric, and you're at least going to get that for this one day. And me being a baseball fan, I love to see it. I love to see it more often, but opening day is just always so special.
Terry, is it safe to say that opening day in Detroit, minus the floats or maybe the beads and half the titties, but it's Detroit's Mardi Gras?
It is.
Isn't it to what Spencer said, to what Flannel said? It's the one day that if you're gonna go downtown and be whatever, so it is
to me it's the biggest day of the year. And of course, if you have the Wings in the Stanley Cup Finals or you have the Lions in the Super Bowl, that's a bigger day. But those are unplanned. We don't know if that's happening. But this is the biggest planned day of the year in my mind. Because downtown will be packed. The bars will still be packed when the game is going on. A lot of people watch it from the bars because they don't feel like freezing, even though it's supposed to be a nice day. But and another thing about opening day, I think it's the last Tiger game where there's no chance you're gonna get your ass kicked by anybody, because everybody's gonna be in a good mood. Yeah, they'll be drunk. But, you hug it out. But, some random day in June where everybody's sauced up and you don't have anything to feel great about, and the Tigers are 30 games under 500, that's a shot you could get into a fight with somebody. But tomorrow,
emotional damage.
Going to be lots of hugs and lots of smiles and stuff. So I dig that.
Spencer, poll question. What do you look more forward to? Tigers opening day or Lions opening game, home game, right? Because they have the same sort of vibe, but I believe, in my opinion, and I'll tell you my vote, is that Tigers opening day is even bigger.
No, it's much bigger. Football, for all its greatness, we don't call the Lions' first game opening day or opening whatever. We don't call it anything. It's just the first game of the season. So, yes, the tailgates are better. People are cooking better food. People are partying together. But this encompasses all of downtown. This encompasses Midtown, Corktown, downtown, any other town we got around here. So it's almost like St. Patrick's Day. Everybody's out drinking. You can drink at 9 a.m. I have a spot I like to go to in Eastern Market. I happen to ask, what time are you going to open up on opening day? Usually they open up at noon or something like that. They said 9 a.m. We're going to be ready to rock. And this is the Eastern Market.
That's a great question for the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Wherever you're following, where do you like to go for opening day? Is it different than St. Patty's Day downtown? How do you do your opening days? We will be down there tomorrow on the corner of Madison and Randolph outside of the music hall. But first, let me tell you about Lady Jane's. You got to get to Lady Jane's, the award-winning haircut experience, and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. $200,000. Yes, I said it, $200K. How do you do it? You get to Lady Jane's and you register. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk-in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Jumpin' Puck. Saturdays, 1 p.m. on woodwardsports.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Thanks for joining us here on a Wednesday. Big D Energy, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Flannel Salmon, Spenmo, Rax. As always, joining us, we were talking about opening days, where you're going to spend it and stuff like this. I got a Vivio's. Make sure you get the Bloody Mary. Rake said Detroit City Distillery. The odds are you starting out at Bert's Lounge? Get some barbecue at Bert's?
I am not. I'm not doing the Easter market tomorrow.
Oh, you're not?
I am going old school. We're going to go to Nemo's.
Wow, Nemo's, old school. If you're not familiar, that's one of the standard staples for the old Tiger Stadium.
Right, and I'm doing that partly because of tradition. I used to go to Nemo's back in the day and always had a long conversation in their tent with Chris Osgood.
Yes.
He was always there, and I said, hey, dude, what are you doing? I was just, enjoying opening day. So he probably won't be there, but I'm going to go there anyway with my friend Buns and Fun. But someone
Which, by the way, side note, is that knowing both Terry Foster and Chris Osgood, I would want a recorded conversation to listen to these two guys, because they call it, that I could just imagine, because I know Ozzy being, as he gets comfortable, he's real, and you are as real as they get.
He's not. So. And the thing is somebody would always want to talk to Ozzy. He said, I'll be with you in a minute. Our conversation would go an hour minimum, nonstop.
And you see the different side, or all the stuff of the 12-year-old little kid. Oh, he's so he's leveled, man. When I say he is the guy in the locker room that if something misplaced, if something's messing with your stuff, it's him. He's like that criminal, sinister mind. And he's funny. And he's funnier than heck. It just comes out of nowhere. And he's got his own language. He does. Right? He does. He's got his own words. I made up some words over the years. Yes. I used to say in college. I'm sure you're going to make up a few more tomorrow on opening day. But let's talk about this team, Terry, because they deserve to be talked about. And it started the other night, and it started with a lot of the young guys, new guys. We mentioned Verling hitting the game-winning home run, Riley Greene going yard. And last night, right, our first over our 1-1, Spencer Torkleson home run, 3 RBIs. I'm not going to get overly excited or whatever like this, Terry. I'm going to turn to you, because you're the one that's seen as much baseball or knows how to take the temperature here. What do we make of this? We get excited because it's tomorrow? Before I tell you what to make of this, I'm going to say the guy that I'm happiest for is Spencer Torkleson. Yes. Because we already, after his poor performance in Houston, not in Houston, but in Tampa, we're already hearing, is the guy going to be a bust? Is he going to have a terrible season? Is he, so that pressure of being a number one pick or a top pick like he is, we were already strangling him with bust. But then when he does this, you kind of hope that he can continue this, and at least he can show, at least he's shown that he's a good ball player. Because the Tigers are saying, even when he was, messing up in Tampa, well, his exit velocity is still hard. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that you're hitting the ball hard. We want to see base hits, and with him, home runs, at the very least doubles. We finally got to see that home run last night, man. But Terry, isn't that because what we've heard, which is different, that he's making hard contact consistently. So isn't there levels to this that now what we're seeing is finally the results? Like, that's what we want, right? Because it's a result. You're the first overall pick in the draft or whatever. You got to be looked at differently. I agree, but in this case, shouldn't. Like, I'm just grateful that finally, okay, the hard work and these hard hit balls that used to be outs of this. Wow, this one went out of the park. And baseball's about consistency, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I'm not going to get too excited, but isn't in his case because we thought he was a lost cause that this will take this?
You're right, and the mistake we make as a public, we look at 2 or 3 games and say, that's it, this guy's done. I have gotten into so many arguments with people, whether they play for the Pistons, the Red Wings, the Lions. We see 2 games, and we already know this guy's not going to make it.
Bruh.
So I am so happy for him because if he continued, because he's batting 133 heading to this series, if he had continued that, then the pressure mounts even higher because now he's home. Then he can hear all this stuff.
Then it's more truth to the fact that maybe he is, and that word I don't like, bust, but that he isn't hitting his full potential. So now I ask you, Terry, how do we watch this? What is the best way, to temper our expectations, or is it okay for us to have more expectations now?
I think it's impossible to watch it in a proper way because you have to understand, if you're a Tiger fan, you want them to win every game. We know that's humanly impossible no matter how good they are. So people are going to have the ebbs and flows. They're going to get pissed. Javi Baez, if he strikes out once, that's, okay, we're done with this guy. He can't chase any balls outside the strike zone without us commenting on it. So if you're a fan of the team, it's impossible to watch a game in the same way because you're just all vented up. And it's like the first game in Houston, the Tigers took the lead, then it looked like they could have blown it. Tiger fans are watching every pitch like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a heart attack. So, and that's the way you should be. I have no problem with that.
No, and that's okay. Like, obviously, it should get more expectations. I think it's that we are seeing something different now. Spencer, you watched the game last night, took it in. This team is better than it was last year or whatever, isn't it? At least, or is it not? Like, at least more maybe offensively. Like, is this something that's consistent, or do you have to see this for another few weeks?
I'd like to see some sustained success, obviously, but I do think they'll be better offensively than the team was last year. Obviously, the bullpen won't be as good as it was last year, but I think they've got a couple guys who look like they got some pop in their bat this year. Torkleson changed his swing from last year. It's more of a direct line rather than a big golfing swing, so he's been making solid contact. And in spring training, he wasn't really rewarded for that contact because he was solid contact in the outs. But still, eventually stuff like that will come along. I'm excited to see that. I have really high expectations for Riley Greene this season. And I don't know the timeline exactly on Mize and Skubal, but once those guys are back in the rotation, starting rotation should look pretty good. Because Manning pitched great yesterday. Boyd pitched great a couple days ago. I think Turnbull, it'll take him a little bit to get back to what he was, obviously, after the Tommy Johns. But with Erod, who is consistent when he's not avoiding the team by all costs, he's a good starting pitcher. So once you get those 2 guys back, that is a pretty damn solid starting 5. So once you get that going, I think the offense will hopefully continue its pop that it's shown the past couple games.
Can we wait for the I know people hate this, but the Sparky Anderson 40-game plateau? Yeah. Watch the first 40 games, and that gives you a good idea of what this team is going to be. Now, you asked, how do you watch this team?
I did.
We know they're not going to win the division.
Correct.
We know this is not a playoff team. So maybe the proper way to watch it, do you see improvement? Do you see the younger players carrying this team? Do you see and I think the pitching is not going to be as good as it was last year. Last year, the pitching was supposed to be a disaster. It ended up being the better part of this team. This year, the pitching is probably not going to be as good. And so I think that maybe the proper way to watch a baseball season for a team with no expectations is, do you see improvement? Can you look down the road and see Torkleson hitting 40 bombs or knocking in 110 runs? Can you see Riley Greene being a top 3 defensive center fielder? I'm not saying he's that now, but can you see this in the future? It's like the Lions. The Lions finished 9-8, but we were able to look at this team and progress in the future. We can see progress with the Lions. We can see a team that can win 11 or 12 games down the road. And so we have to look at the Tigers in the very same way. Can you see a bright future with what you're looking at this year?
Absolutely, and I think that I'll go to the legend killer and say, let's take Greene and Torkelson, because these are the guys. Have you seen improvement since the end of last season through training camp and into the regular to give you some sort of
or
hope?
Looking in the future, hey, legend killer, will Spencer Torkelson ever hit more than 10 home runs in a year?
I'm pretty confident that he will hit more than 10 home runs
This
in a
year.
season. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Spenny. And he's well on his way with that absolute moonshot that he hit last night to sort of put the game away for the Tigers at Houston. Even though it's early and we all have to temper expectations a little bit, that was yesterday, considering the opponent, considering they were on the road, considering who led them, as perfect as a Tigers win as I could ever ask for. Matt Manning, he went toe-to-toe with Franmir Valdez and got the win. And then when the Astros had to go to their bullpen, the Tigers pounded them. And when the Tigers had to go to their bullpen, they pretty much held firm, that's all you can ask out of a bullpen. And they were led at the plate by Riley Greene and Spencer Torkelson. Spencer Torkelson was 3 for 4 and hit a huge home run. Riley Greene was also 3 for 4, which brings his batting average on the season, albeit in 5 games, to .316. They're showing the promise of why they got drafted so high and why they are so, I would say, hyped up. Spencer Torkelson coming out was the best college hitter in the nation. He was a guy who was going to hit home runs, mash, and he seemed to be refined. He had a bad rookie season, but he had a good spring training, and so far this year, it looks like he's worked some things out with his swing. And Riley Greene, from what I've seen of him, maybe he can hit his ceiling, which I believe, and hold on to your hats, because I'm not talking literally, I believe that Riley Greene's ceiling is a very, very poor man's Mike Trout.
Whoa!
Just in terms of being a 5-tool player that can do everything.
Poor man.
And
said
can
very,
be
very poor.
very, very poor man. And can be sort of that 5-tool player who makes multiple all-star teams. He's not going to be Mike Trout. I'm not saying Riley Greene's Mike Trout. I'm just saying that he has that kind of ability.
How poor of a Mike Trout?
He's in poverty.
You heard
He's
it here
homeless.
first. Sam Flannel says Riley Greene is the next Mike Trout.
Did not say that, but you know what? He's got that same skill
poor
set.
man's, and I will agree with him, but I will say Riley Greene is homeless. If you want to say poor man.
Well,
Compared
here's
to
the
Mike
whole
Trout.
thing, and I think the big thing too for both of them, because I see progress and I see Torkelson, it might be coming with confidence, but with both of them, it's durability. It's a long season stuff. It's about staying healthy. Hey, before we tell you about Cintron, let me tell you, for those of you watching from the website, you may have noticed the facelift that woodwardsports.com received. You can check out the latest scores around sports, fresh articles, and of course a home to watch all our live shows. Lots of awesome additions and updates are coming soon. Check it out, woodwardsports.com. Ooh, I need something to drink. What would I drink?
You would drink Cintron, of course, because Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, they have an exclusive offer for Woodward Sports fans for their limited edition Red Wings 6-pack. Only $15 plus free shipping. Head to drinkcintron.com/Woodward and try it today. All 3 delicious Cintron flavors in one: classic, sugar-free, and cranberry. That's drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Aha!
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Custom Health, they give you your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Custom Health Centers is blessed to have over 20,000 success stories. Some professional athletes you might know, Rick Mahorn, former Lion kicker Eddie Murray, and even our own Ryan Ermanni. So if you want to take your healthcare serious and get behind it, give Dr. Jason a call at Custom Health Centers. 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446. Tell them Big D Energy we sent you. Here we go, cruising right along on this Wednesday. Big D Energy, Uncle Terry Foster, Spenmo Rax, Sam Flynn of the Legend Killer. I am Darren McCarty. Anyways, let's get into the Red Wings because we deserve to talk about them. Shut out last night, the Montreal Canadiens 5-0. That's to me small victories, which means this team doesn't quit. Guys, as we mentioned yesterday's show, you can go back on anywhere you catch Big D Energy, anywhere you catch podcasts or view it, the YouTube channel, whatever. We were talking the fact of Steve Yzerman, all of his first rounders I've played in the lineup all at the same time. But I think it's a big deal, even at the end of the season, to play spoilers against Toronto's and the Montreals and to still play hard. One of the guys I think that you focus on, who's been a huge part of the leadership and the growth for everybody around him, is David Perron. Getting a couple goals and an assist last night, coming off a hat trick last week and something like this. And really what I look for is when you have the veteran guys is that, you know, win the play, and especially a guy that's won a cup before that he did in St. Louis and has been there with Vegas, is that he knows that the task at hand, Terry, is not done, that it's still about teaching the young guys and it's about building and it's going out there and being a professional. So look for the Wings to play spoilers in these. I think whether they have 4 games left, a couple coming up on the weekend. If you're down at LCA, I'll be there Saturday doing Game Day Live and for the last home game on Monday. So please come by, say hi, get a picture, get an autograph, whatever it is. Just look for the red hair. You can find it anywhere. But
it looks lovely too.
But what have you been seeing? Have you seen, as you look into the Red Wings and the disappointment of maybe having a chance to make the playoffs and then crap in the bed and then trade deadline?
I actually am seeing something that pisses me off a little bit.
Ooh, I like it, Terry.
I like, because this doesn't just happen with the Wings, but I like how teams, once they're eliminated, once they're done, buried, dead, then all of a sudden they start playing up to expectations.
Bruh.
And maybe that's because they're a good team, but they have to have no pressure on them. But when it was time, when we were talking about the Wings making the playoffs, you got a little 4 or 5 game stretch, win 2 or 3 of them, be in the playoff hunt, they crap the bed. Now there's nothing to play for, so we just nice and loose and everything. We just go into Montreal and kick their ass 5-0.
So I look at it differently, and I should see. I don't blame you for looking at it that way, but I look at it as the growth. So in the same way as losing for us in the finals against New Jersey and what having to learn is that you're right. When the bright lights came on at the most dire time, they failed. right? But how are they going to pick themselves back up? Because from what I've learned from my experience, I'm sitting here with 4 Stanley Cups because we didn't stay down, and that's what they're doing. So unfortunately, you want them to get it, but it's part of the maturation in my eyes. They just needed that extra step, and that's what we're seeing. Because at this point, I only get mad if it affects your draft status, but they're gonna get to say we always get screwed anyways, and if we're gonna get lucky, we're gonna get lucky. So
yeah, Gary Bettman's not going to do the Wings any favors.
No, and that's what we're already resigned to it. That's why we have hashtag.
But at least with you guys, your comeuppance happened in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I know, but but this is okay. So in that process, so now it's it's just down levels. They'll still have to probably get there. This is just way down further the journey that has started. That's further down the journey.
Yeah, that ass kicking you guys took to New Jersey.
Yeah.
How much do you think that motivated you, stimulated you, angered you, and helped you in the future?
Well, I remember, Terry, because I remember Drapes and I, Chris Draper, centering the grind line, we were standing in the crease watching Jersey celebrate, and he looks at me and goes, "We can never let this happen again." And I said, "Yeah, I know." But for us, the younger guys, this was like, it was the local years, like our second year. But our mentality is we sort of got on the train, 60% of the way down the tracks, right? So we didn't have to go through what this team's going through right now, which Steve Yzerman went through in the 80s with the Red Wing team, right? So, Terry, it wasn't there. I tell everybody the scariest was when Game 6 we lost to Colorado. Right after setting the league record, 62 wins, Drapes gets his face busted. We know all what happened after that. That was the scariest. I remember being on the plane and going, "Oh my God, we may never get back there." Right, never get back to win a championship. We thought, we just make a few tweaks and adjust and stuff like that. But it was a learning experience. So the fear of never getting back motivates you to power through. And the story's written to what it is, but I think it's different. I think maybe more so what they're experiencing is what Steve Yzerman and the Red Wing team went through in the 80s.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the fear factor, because the fear factor probably hurt the Lions in the 90s. They didn't have fear. They won the game against Dallas in 92. The second, in the NFC Championship game, they got their asses handed to them by the Washington Redskins. I was at that game, and I was so sick and tired of hearing, "We are the Redskins, we are the..." however that song goes, and bouncing up and down. Instead of taking it as, "Damn, we got our asses kicked, this pissed us off," the Lions' mentality was, "We're going to Super Bowls. It's not when we're going, it's how many we're going to go to." I don't think they processed that game as a learning experience, that they weren't there yet. They didn't use it. They were disappointed after it, but nobody was pissed off. Like, we're going to use this to motivate us down the future. They were still thinking, okay, we made the NFC Championship game. We'll be in the Super Bowl at least once in the next 2 years. I don't think the fear factor was there.
You know what? I'll go back and say the fear factor wasn't there against New Jersey, right? It was sort of there. It was there playing Philadelphia, but it was a confidence fear because we'd gone through Colorado and stuff like this. That because the Legion of Doom and Philly was supposed to do to us what we were supposed to do to Jersey, and we weren't going to be denied. Like we were like the old Roman army that had just gone through and were battle hardened, tested, and we're just hungry and ready, and we're going to be denied, and we're ready for whatever challenge. You know what I'm saying? So because we won the war with Colorado.
I want to tell you, I took a verbal ass kicking for you guys on Philadelphia radio.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Foster, doing your part for this city.
Well, it wasn't because. It was just because you guys are sweetie pies. But I saw something. No, I before
tag that Terry called me a sweetie pie.
When I thought you guys were going to make the Stanley Cup Finals, I would always focus on the two teams playing the Eastern Conference Finals. And so I saw Philadelphia the whole playoff series. And I kept hearing how big and bad they were and how, they're going to pin you in your own zone and everything. And I looked at these guys and said, no, they're not. They're not all that. And I wrote a column and called them this. They were big and they were kind of tough, but I called them the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. They're big, but that's about it.
Damn!
So,
you wrote that article? You wrote that article?
Yeah, I did. So they also read that article in Philadelphia. So I was on a Philadelphia radio show, and the people are killing me. Said, man, this team is really tough. The Wings is kind of soft and everything. I said, okay, here's what's going to happen. The Wings may not be the toughest people in the world, but they're fast and they're quick. You're not going to be able to chase them. You're not going to be able to pin them in their own zone. You think you're going to pin them in the zone and keep them hemmed in for like 30 or 45 seconds. That's not happening. First of all, your guys are kind of slow. They don't hit that hard. Yeah, they'll pound you now and then, but they don't hit that hard. And I went on there and said, Wings going to win this series in 5. You ended up sweeping them, though.
Yeah. One of my favorite photos is there's a picture of the grind line, and it's the opening face-off for the 97 Cup. And it's almost like me and Maltz are adjusting our elbow pads. It's almost like locking and loading for war. I remember first shift puck went in, I almost put Peter Svoboda into the 4th row. Mm-hmm. Like we were faster, and the whole thing is that we had that balance. And when you got Joey Kosher and Kirk Maltby and big goals, especially in that series, like how do you compete against that?
That is true. And plus the other thing, the Flyers they had me in goal. I mean,
they couldn't decide. They went back and forth.
Yeah,
between Hextall and Garceau. So
right. So they kept going back because they didn't know who was going to be hot. They were hoping to catch the hot guy at the right time, but neither one of them was that good at the time. So, and they called you a middleweight, and I said, yeah, he is a middleweight. Yep. But middleweights hit hard
He'll
too.
still kick your ass.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's it.
And
yeah, that's all it was. Is all these guys are all bigger than I was. Ron Hextall's jock is the Joe Louis Arena site. It's gone, so it's buried like Hoff's body at Giant Stadium. Yeah. That's the lore. His jock's down there somewhere underneath whatever they build over it. So, all right, little stroll down hockey lane. I love it because Terry was there.
Oh, and the other thing they said, when the Flyers sweep the Wings, we want you back on our show the next week.
Did you go back after we swept them?
And I said, fine. I never got that phone call.
Oh, that's soft.
Sounds like classic Philly fans.
That's soft. Yeah. No, it doesn't. Philly fans usually will stand up to the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of cheese, where would you go to add cheese to something for lunch?
Oh, easily Cousins Maine Lobster, because Woodward Sports loves lobster, and what better way to get your fix than Cousins Maine Lobster? With 2 trucks rolling around Detroit, you can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, and lobster tacos to power through the day. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and find their schedule, or you can scan that QR code and figure out where they are rolling around the city. Make sure you check out Cousins Maine Lobster.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Can't get enough Woodward sports content, head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Hey folks, let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, professional technicians to take the time to recommend security automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian Alarm today. The number, 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it needed, but I need you to call. Here's the number, 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people, yes, Homo sapiens, who have been proven to care. They care so much. Look it, I'm locked and loaded with this beautiful hair. I see all you guys loving it. Guardian protecting it like they're protecting Sam's flannel. How many straight days of flannel protection?
248.
248 straight days of flannel protection, about 7 days with this baby right here. You can have the same thing, but we need you to call Guardian Alarm. Here's the number, 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of the chat, LeBron haters. Watch out for the Lakers in the West.
What? All right. Stay out. Stay out of the pitcher's box. Stay out of the hitter's box, Astros. You're about to get swept like the Flyers did.
You got one, Terry?
And Pistons, basketball, when you shoot the ball, stay out the basket. Because that's usually what happens.
All right, there it is. Just protect whatever you want. Give them Guardian Alarm call today. Your local security experts, tell them, Big D Energy, we sent you. Yes, I appreciate all the love on the hair. In fact, it is a Lady Jane's. You can come in and get the same treatment. The more love that I get. Just wait to see what color it becomes next. Anyways,
you know what? Since you did the hair, I want to see you fight Jake Paul in the WWE.
I'm down.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, and the
SummerSlam.
Well, isn't Jake Paul the boxer?
Yeah,
no, he was in WrestleMania.
That's Logan
That was
Paul.
Logan Paul.
Oh, Logan. Whichever. I get them mixed up. Logan Paul.
Yeah,
And he's a boxer,
in a death
too.
match.
Right.
Yeah, Terry, I like where your head's at, buddy. Which, by the way, I'm going to show you a preview later on in the show. We got a little special at the end about what Neil's been up to, what I was up to on the weekend, and what's coming for all you wrestling fans if you watch Impact Wrestling tomorrow night. So pretty excited about that stuff. But, Terry, one of the big things is always that when Detroit Pistons come up, you're one of the first people I think about when I look for information. And yesterday, the GM, Troy Weaver, was it yesterday or recently, came out with the letter to the fans.
Yes.
Right? Now, I read the letter to the fans, and immediately I thought of you. Can you please tell me what it meant? Because, right, so there's no sense that I want people to understand. There's no sense in me processing and give you my opinion, because my opinion doesn't matter until I hear it from you.
All right, you're going to be disappointed in my answer. It essentially meant nothing. He said he apologizes for the season, but he did have an interesting line in there. The Pistons have positioned themselves to receive a very high draft pick. To me, that's fancy language of saying, we tanked this year. Isn't it obvious that the Pistons tanked this year? They didn't play healthy players. Cade Cunningham can probably ball, but they're not going to play him. They tanked, and we never want to admit that our own teams tank, and teams will never admit that. But I think it was pretty obvious that Troy Weaver is playing for next season already. Bogdanovich was healthy; he could have played. He also could have traded him for some future picks or players, because Troy Weaver's convinced the Pistons are going to make the playoffs next year, and he's going to need him.
So this was all about. So that letter told you it was all about next year.
Yes, I was convinced of that even before.
When was the writing on the wall for you?
Right.
Was it when Cade got hurt?
Yes. Once Cade was hurt, they were done. And then Bogdanovich even said that our whole offense is predicated on Cade Cunningham. Wherever he goes, that's where we're going to go as a team. When Cade was out, that was the end of it. Now, I get from a lot of people, should the Pistons fire Dwayne Casey? Is he reaching this group? I'm always hesitant to say yes because I'm convinced from top to bottom the Pistons made the decision not to compete this year. That, Wembanyama is such a huge piece that they wanted to make sure they had the best chance of getting the big 7'4" Frenchman that they could. And it was worth it. So even if the Pistons fan,
I think he's grown since. I think he's 7'5".
Okay, I'm behind. I thought he was 7'4", but now he's 7'5". But he is such a crucial piece, not only to whoever gets him, but for the whole NBA. That you assume that if you get Wembanyama, that you're going to be set for at least the next 8.
I saw a projection, and it was like Victor Wembanyama, the day he signs to a team, will get $500 million in revenue to whatever team signs him.
Okay. So your franchise this is almost like LeBron James. If LeBron James is with your franchise, you're worth this much. It's like the Cleveland Cavaliers. When they didn't have LeBron, they were worth this, and they had LeBron, they're like this. So I think the Pistons sold their soul so that they had the best chance of getting him. And guess what? And I don't like this. Even if with all this tanking and stuff, they only got a 14% chance of getting him.
He's still going to the Spurs.
That's ridiculous. They have a 49% chance of slipping to 5.
Terry, because like people always say, you just said before when we were talking about the Red Wings that if you're out, then be out. So it's not their fault that that's all they can get, right? It's not their fault that they changed the rules that the last place team, they tank protected it so you automatically didn't get the first pick, right? So they're doing, I think Troy Weaver's doing the best that he can. I guess to me, Spenny, that's the question, right? To me, that if this plays out, this is the story that he's writing and he's narrating and showing that, maybe it's this way. If it plays out like that, he's a genius, right? If he doesn't. But the key thing was when Cade Cunningham got hurt, that's when the adjustment was made. That this wasn't the initial plan out of training camp or until, like, once Cade went down, then immediately.
I think they decided that later.
Right.
In my mind.
Right.
Me. And who am I? When Cade Cunningham went down, that was the end of the season.
So isn't it everything that and Neil says roll the tanks in and do everything else? Isn't this just a different way of GMing, but also a power move GM by Troy Weaver, obviously, if it works out, and giving you an opportunity?
But technically it's illegal. The league frowns upon it. But in my mind, I think it was pretty obvious.
But didn't they just stink?
They stunk, and they also, like Terry said, they shut down Bogdanovich, they shut down Isaiah Stewart. It's guys that could have played aren't playing, and I agree.
They rolled the tanks in the correct way.
Yeah.
Are you mad about it?
I'm not mad about this.
I'm just saying what happened.
Yeah.
But my point is, I don't think you can make an assessment on Dwayne Casey when the franchise gave up on the team. The franchise is saying we're going to lose. So you can't fire a coach when the directive is to lose. We're not going to put your best people out there. So I need another year to assess him when I'm assuming the Pistons are going to try to win next year.
But at the end of the day, isn't it also about if the coach, forget the wins or losses, like you said, I agree, but he hasn't lost the younger guys, the Ivies, all the younger guys, the Durham, they listen to him.
Yeah, he hasn't lost.
His message still gets her. He's not
here's
the
what's
most
happened
important.
with the Pistons. They're playing their ass off for 3 quarters. And against the Miami Heat, they're right in the game. They're down 17. All of a sudden, they're up 1. So that's a team. I understand everybody has a run in the NBA, but
you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like the best 8th grade team, and then it goes and plays plays like a junior varsity team that's good, and they stick with them for the game. Maybe they go on a run, but then at the end of the day, these boys are more mature that have gone through some puberty, and maybe the 8th graders haven't. So as the game goes on, it just wears on them. So then that's what it seems like. It doesn't. To me, it seems like they're playing hard.
Or teams are toying with them.
Right.
And say, yeah, you can come back from 17, but we're still gonna kick your ass at the end.
Right.
Jimmy Butler didn't score in the first half. He ended up with 27. So Jimmy Butler's saying, okay, I'm in Detroit. It's cold. I don't want to be here. So, we're down 1. Now I'm going to show out. So that happens a lot in the NBA. Now, once again, Darren, one of those things nobody wants to admit, that guys just come in, they're a little bit sluggish. They don't want to be at certain spots, but they want to win. So I think Jimmy Butler was like, are we losing to Detroit? No, that's not happening. I'm going to do whatever I can to win this ball.
It's like me playing in an alumni game.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and when it's tight, it's like, come on, let's go. But
you chill for the first period.
The sentiment in the chat is, and I think we all are on the same page, is that going into the season, this wasn't the focus like it was with some other teams that blatantly got rid of players, got rid of salary, where you could see they were trying to not compete. We sort of competed, then we lost guys, and then we decided, okay, boom, we're gonna roll the tanks in, and hey. You know what? I'm under the impression we've won it before. We can win it again, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Chances are you're not, but you got to put yourself in position. Like I ran into the little Kool-Aid kid today. He is so scared that the Pistons are going to end up with the number 5 pick.
Oh my God!
And that would be a disaster.
That would be a disaster.
Yeah. So he wants me to.
Oh, dude, come on, man! What do I teach you about karma and about keeping the attention spiritual?
But you know, he's scared.
I get it.
He's a young boy.
But what happens? Scared money don't make money, baby. But if you had some money, where would you go for some fish or any other delicious
You'd
stuff?
obviously go to Seafood Fest at Big Boy because Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. For some favorites during Lent, like the shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and all new fish sandwich. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat shrimp and fish fry buffet on Friday nights. Make sure you tap into your local Big Boy today and satisfy those taste buds.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold, designer skin, Caltan, and Swedish beauty lotions. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. 27 locations and more on the way. It's Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared. We're Stoke not scared for the Lions. I mean, how can you be scared for the draft? Come on, Kool-Aid. Oh yeah, baby, we got you.
I'm scared.
I know, but dude, only a 14% chance. I understand
Who cares?
why.
But
I
not
understand.
these guys are worried about dropping to 5. I know it's possible, but if the karma works, but it's not going to work out that way.
They're not going to drop to 5.
Well, you'll probably get number 2 pick. I don't want to. I want 1 or 3.
I want 1 or 3.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Top of the afternoon here on Wednesday. Big D Energy, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Spencer Roxter. Sam Flannel. We were talking about really the draft and the Pistons positioning themselves. Terry not happy with the 14%, but that's the best opportunity,
right?
The most that they could have.
And they're trying to.
You got to put it out in the universe, baby.
Trying to make sure teams don't tank, even though they still do that. But am I the only one who thinks that the Pistons tanked? That yes, they're bad, but they increased their chances of losing by the roster that was presented to Dwayne Casey.
Yeah, right, exactly. Isn't this exactly what we want? Isn't this like playing chess, not checkers?
Well,
as a GM?
But it's a tough thing. If you pay money and go to Little Caesars Arena, that night you want that team to win.
Yeah, you know what, Terry? I do a lot of the season tickets for the Wings, and I think it's if you understand that there's something being built or you're moving towards a process like what they are, people are willing to invest or willing to understand and take the loss. I think here in Detroit, it's the effort and the fact that we've seen the effort, whether it's through all our sports teams, right? Which puts us endearing to them. So that's where the losing it gets over.
All right, you know what? You're thinking rationally, but fans is short for fanatical. If I pay $125 for a ticket and then another $125 for my honey to come with me, and I drive downtown and get hit with that District Detroit tax, which is also known as parking, that night I want the Red Wings to win. I don't care about positioning. I don't care about lottery balls. I don't care about whoever you're going to get in the draft. That night,
I can't agree with you, Terry, because we've been so depleted of a playoff victory in any sport. We can't, in the past, you're right, because we could always lean on another sport that would get in the playoffs, whether it was...
Okay, all right, let me put this to you. Do you think someone who spent money to go to a game is sitting there at Little Caesars Arena and says, man, I hope the Red Wings lose, but I hope it's a good game? That's what I'm hoping for tonight.
No, they want them to win, but I think that they understand that what they're up against and what they're building towards, and like right now.
Once they leave the game, yes.
Okay. Yeah, they could be pissed off while they're there, but the true fan, if they're ready, and especially around here, Terry, we don't even have a playoff win, a playoff appearance in this town, right? Like, holy cow! Talk about like drought.
Last playoff appearance, I think, was the Pistons getting swept.
So I think that the whole point, and I know this when I talk about the hashtag Watch Play 1919. Is the fact it's building that foundation so next year we get back, and then we're like the Bostons and the other teams that continue like we used to be when I played. I was fortunate that we never missed the playoffs.
You know you're always in trouble if the Lions are your best hope. That means there's something wrong.
Lions fans.
But that's the way it used to be.
When?
What I believe that's changed with, as you said, with the greatest GM in Lions history, Brad Holmes. I believe that has changed. But I believe it's like we've seen land, fought through the storm, right? And now it's like where he's like I said, he's getting ready to cook. I'm excited, stoked, not scared.
I am, but here's the thing: things have changed. Lions don't have the worst ownership in Detroit anymore.
That's true.
The Lions are your best hope. So that also means, the Lions, we believe, are up and coming, but it also means the rest of your franchises have to really be bad.
The Lions are
on the field, but as long as what you see, like, here's the whole thing, right? It's at the end of the day, if they get the first pick, Troy Weaver's a genius. Right? If they get the 5th pick, like it's the end of the world, right?
Goat.
Then Dwayne Casey and everything else. It's about the vision, I think, around here, because it's about the foundation. It's about getting back with all these young guys. Because I think a lot of you look at the fans in attendance, the games. People want to believe, and they believe in this young core.
I just got some confirmation from Gabby that coming to the Woodward Sports store today
Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared. Stoke not
Stoke
scared.
not scared.
Get your Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared.
Is this your doing up here, fellas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
sir. Let's
congratulations.
go.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Thank you, young Gabby. Appreciate all you do around here, kid.
Hey, I think we should have a Woodward sports shirt with me getting busy with Minnie Mouse.
I think we should get a picture of you, Buns and Fun, tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Buns and Fun will be downtown tomorrow.
Terry, and on the back it's you getting busy. You know
I'd
how the
buy
hell
that
the night
shirt.
end with Minnie Mouse.
We should also have you as Black Santa. As now you got that.
We should have a Black Santa.
Yeah,
Woodward
that
Sports.
was a ball drop for sure. There needed to be a Black Santa
I
shirt.
think that should be you.
Yeah,
you're old enough.
I'm not skinny.
He's not skinny enough. Yeah.
No, but we can accessorize.
We can have Kool-Aid be
No,
Black
no.
Santa.
You can't.
Black Santa is skinny. He
Oh,
ain't
yeah.
fat.
We could have
He a little fella.
We could have Kool-Aid be Black Santa.
You could.
Kool-Aid. Oh,
Kool-Aid could be
fits
Black
the
Santa.
Black Santa. But because you're like the Godfather.
Yeah.
Dirty
Easy
Duck-
can't be Black Santa.
No, Easy cannot be
He's
Black
too roly-poly and fun-looking, and he got the big little cheeks and everything. He can't
Braylon's
be
too
Black
buff.
He's more of a Oompa Loompa.
Dirty Dr. D says a picture of Terry scrambling eggs. That's what he wants. That's what he wants on his T-shirt.
I think that
And I
works all
am
the time.
scrambling eggs because I got my griddle now.
There you go.
So I go outside.
Oh
and
yeah,
cook
Black
now.
Santa with the heavyweight.
Yeah.
The heavyweights could they be your elves?
Yeah, a little
Kool-Aid
reverse,
could be
little
Black
reverse
Santa.
thing. Yeah.
Like that would be like a family photo.
Or
Where the elves are fat
you
and
can have
Santa's
the
skinny.
heavyweights hugging Black Santa and squeezing the life out of him.
He breaks in half.
That would be more like it. But yeah, no, Stoke not scared. I think hey, you know what? Honestly, that carries over to all the teams to understand, that things are being built, and obviously going into the draft. Obviously, do people don't feel the same way about Brad Holmes going into the? I haven't heard this to the NFL draft, right? Worried about, is it because even though at 6, what he's going to do with it? Is there a chance that he moves up? You hear the rumblings that,
We don't worry about Brad Holmes because we have more trust in him.
Yeah.
If the Lions had finished 3-14 last year, I think we'd be looking at that brother sideways. Like, okay, you were 3-13-1 and then 3-14, then there wouldn't be that much faith. But the fact that a lot of his pieces that he picked up began to work out, then we have more faith in Brad Holmes than we do Troy Weaver. So that's why we're not worried about that. Now, can he move up? He could. Now, Brad Holmes has been, I would say, a conservative GM. Yeah, he's tried some different things. He's playing chess and stuff. But the bottom line is he doesn't want to upset the apple cart. He wants to make sure there's responsible contracts. This draft, we get to find out if he's got a little funk in his game.
Yeah, but didn't he show a little funk in free agency by, throwing out some contracts and
But they were still manageable and responsible.
No, I know they were,
contracts.
but he got these guys, like the fact that they had the conversation. And I know there's a couple 1-year deals, but and guy coming off injury, but the fact is the commitment to what he did, right? And when you go back to the Pistons, I think that the whole thing is the spotlight's not on Troy Weaver, it's on Dwayne Casey right now. Right? Everybody's got the spotlight more on Dwayne Casey than it is Troy Weaver, right?
And I'm saying you can't put the spotlight on Dwayne Casey
yet. Because
if there's a franchise-wide decision to tank.
He took all his Legos away.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't let him play.
And Troy Weaver was probably going in Dwayne Casey's office and said, tell him, don't play defense. Don't play defense. And guess what? They didn't.
No, I just think that it's just something that they haven't fundamentally corrected. Or put the pieces in place, because to your point, why fix it when it's sort of a leak that it gets you to where you want, having the best chance at getting number 1 in the draft. Speaking of number 1, we were talking insurance. I think of Swiss. What do you think of, Sam?
I think of Swiss as well. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance. Give us a shot and you won't be disappointed. Email them at mark@swissins.com. That is mark@swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back, Big D Energy, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Spencer Raxter, Sam Reynolds, Flannel. Yes, that's his real name. Tell you, write him some hate mail. And just for your defense, Sam, that the guy behind the mic when the mic goes on is not the guy when the mic goes off. It's amazing. When he steps out of the booth, he's like Clark Kent, except when he steps into the booth.
Can I give Sam Flannel a little advice right now?
Oh yes, Terry. Everybody.
Hey, Flannel, if you're not getting hated on, you're not doing your job.
That's true.
So always remember that.
And
they only hit the guy carrying the ball.
Thank you.
Hey, shout out to Flannel for the undertone currents. Put a poll up. Are people enjoying the audio undertones and smart ass comments? Because I absolutely am. I'm actually having fun today. Speaking of having fun, we got to talk Lions. So I turn to the man with the plan around here. Spencer had some questions about the Lions, whether it is the draft. I let him put it into his little bingo ball and pull it out. And Spenny, what do you got for us, bud?
So I wanted to know if, let's say, Jalen Carter isn't there at 6. You don't want Anthony Richardson. He's gone too. And nobody right there at 6 is looking like the choice. So 6 is off the board. Would you rather the Lions and Brad Holmes trade up in the draft to get one of those big pieces, one of those top 5 guys, or trade down and acquire future assets and more draft capital?
I've always been a trade down guy with the Detroit Lions, except this year.
Ooh.
If you can get Will Anderson, I would pick up. I would go up. Because all you need is one more piece next to Aiden Hutchinson to make him better. So if you get Will Anderson, you're not only going to get a terrific player in Will Anderson, but Aiden Hutchinson is going to become a better player.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, you're kind of picking up 2 players. I'd rather go there rather than getting 2 quality guys later on in the draft who are kind of cute and everything and who can play a little bit. I'd rather get that signature piece right now, because if the Lions are going to make that next step, they need playmakers, and playmakers are not just on offense. Playmakers harass the quarterback. Playmakers make it 2nd down and 17 rather than 2nd and 2. That's what Will Anderson can do. That front 7 will become much more ferocious if you get that one guy rather than save the picks and just get some solid guys for that rotation.
We got to remember, right? We're talking about Will Anderson, that if he went out in the draft last year, he probably would have went first overall, arguably, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about...
And should have gone to New York for the Heisman.
Yep.
Okay, so we're talking about somebody that's special, correct? So if I'm on board with Terry, if I had to, and look into the fact that I have 2 first rounders at 6 and 18 to move up to to number 3 to who Arizona, because they don't. Is that where they're picking?
Yeah, that would be the most likely landing spot.
If I had that option, and I was guaranteed to get Will Anderson, right? That's where I don't want to move up if one of the teams ahead of me takes Will Anderson, right? I would want to move up no matter what it took to get him, because I agree he's that type of player. Now, I think the thing is you're sort of in a win-win situation, which is a bigger win, right? Like, because I think if you moved back, because you got Atlanta and you got Vegas behind, two teams that are sort of suspect in some of the movements that they do sometimes, that you might be able to get those two players of value if that's not really available. So again, it comes down to trusting Brad Holmes cooking at his barbecue, which is the draft.
Yeah, you know, the great thing for the Lions are these quarterbacks who I think can't play are moving up the board. So if you can't get Will Anderson, the best thing for the Lions is to trade back, because somebody...
Aren't quarterbacks like helium in the draft?
Right,
right.
absolutely.
They just keep going up and up. Does this happen every year?
Yeah.
Last year was Malik Willis, right?
Right.
Like,
and what did Malik Willis do this year?
Whole lot of nothing.
Nothing.
Whole lot of
But people were convinced. Malik Willis, you bring him to the Lions, he's going to make him better. I'd rather have Malik Willis than Jared Goff.
It sounded like Dr. Redacted this weekend.
I don't understand how you look at a guy for 11 games during the regular season and say, you know what, he's mid. But then you see him work out. He's got on his shorts and a tank top, and then all of a sudden it's like, gotta have this guy. Why didn't he do that when he was on the football field rather than in a workout situation? We don't do that in basketball. We don't do that in baseball. I don't think they do that in hockey. It's what did you do on the ice, the rink, the arena, or wherever. But in football, a guy can move from a second-round pick to a high first-round pick based on what he does by wearing a girdle, some panties, and a T-shirt. I don't get it.
No, it's tape though. But Sam, where are you on board with that, or what do you think the best move would be?
I'll tell you what. If the Lions were to trade up to number 3 and able to land Will Anderson, I would be all for it. To me, Will Anderson is the best college edge rusher I've ever seen. He had over 34 sacks in college, 58 tackles for loss, and during his 2021 season, he could have easily won the Heisman. It looked like a bunch of college players on the defense. Well, Alabama had some good players, but a bunch of college players and Lawrence Taylor out there. I think that if he were to pair with Aiden Hutchinson, you'd have someone that's even more talented and a better edge rusher to pair alongside of Aiden Hutchinson, who we obviously saw worked out and had a great rookie season. A good scenario for me, and I don't know if this is possible, I'm curious as to whether they could get the number 3 overall pick, obviously give them 6, but not give them 18. Because I think you could do something like trade up for Will Anderson, give them maybe 6 and a second in a future or something like that. I'm not exactly sure the details. And then at 18, pick a guy like Kalijah Cansey or Brian Brzee to sort of give you that dominant edge rusher and then a linchpin on your defensive line, which is a need. That would be a good scenario for me. And if they trade up for Will Anderson, I would be all for it.
So my question to you, Terry, is the asking price by Arizona, because the closer we get to the draft, doesn't the price go up? Won't other teams want to get involved? Now, I agree with you, Sam. If you can get it cheaper and you can keep that 18 pick because you have a couple second rounders or whatever it is, yeah. But I think the asking price, Terry, is going to be at least 2 first rounders. I think that you have something that other teams don't have in those 2 first rounders, so that becomes maybe a luxury.
Right. And the thing is yes, the price is going to go up. So you got to take if you want to save right now and not give up that first round pick, then you got to make that trade now. But you don't know if you make that deal if you're going to get Will Anderson. So you're taking a calculated risk. Closer to the draft, although the price goes up, you know if you're going to get Will Anderson or not as it gets closer. So it's, like I said, it's a calculated gamble.
No, I like Spenny. What do you?
Yeah, it's for me. I don't know. because I think that is going to take quite a lot to get up there to get Will Anderson, and I would personally trade back because I think there is other options you can get later in the round, whether it be 10, 11, 12, whatever pick you end up getting. One of those players could be just as good, just as effective as a Tyree Wilson or someone that you would get at 6 if Jalen Carter wasn't there. So for me, if Jalen Carter's not there, I'm trading back.
Well, isn't it also, too, if you're going to move up, because you have to move up beyond, I don't think Will Anderson would even get by Seattle, would they? Would he?
No.
No. So you would, the pick is for Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
The reality is I'm probably not going to trade up, but if I can get Will Anderson, I'm willing to do that.
You're in a position of power, right? Because you have 2 first-round picks, right?
Yeah, it's true, but there's other teams who are desperate for quarterbacks who you're going to have to be negotiating with to whoever's got the 3rd pick. So they're going to be up there. So, the Lions are offering you this. Here, let me sweeten the pot. So now you're in a bidding war that you don't want to be in. So it will probably scare me from Will Anderson. But there's a chance you can get him and still keep that 18 pick.
Yeah.
You probably have to give up a bunch of second-rounders and maybe a future first-rounder.
No, it makes it interesting. It's like trusting what you have. To your point, Terry, about getting in deeper than you want to, I don't think Brad Holmes even has to swim in those waters. He's going to pull himself out because something's going to happen. It always does, right? There's always a team. We always think it's like Vegas or, everybody's talking about what Tennessee, what are they going to do? It's very interesting. Is this also, too, one of the drafts where it's more of the unknown?
No, it definitely is. Like the Lions have the number 6 pick. None of us know who they're going to draft. Normally, you have a pretty good idea, even at 6, who they're going to end up with.
But you technically don't know exactly the order that they're going to go. I mean, you could speculate Bryce Young, we were hearing, could go 1, and now you hear it moves. You can hear these 3 quarterbacks. Or somebody going to bite on these guys? I listened to you talk about Anthony Richardson, not being able to.
Yeah, even though you don't know, by this time, normally, you have a pretty good idea who the Lions are interested in. We don't know who they're interested in. We don't know, for instance, if Jalen Carter drops, if they'll take him or not. We don't know.
And we have a pretty good. Isn't that the best thing? Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
But normally, we have an idea. If Jalen Carter didn't get into all this trouble, if he had dropped, we would know that the Lions would take him.
1,000%.
But now all this stuff happened, and here's another thing, fellas, is I guarantee it's going to happen in the draft. It'll happen in the top 5 picks. One of those teams is going to pick somebody, and we're going to go, what the hell were they thinking?
Mm-hmm.
But that could benefit the Lions.
So it's trusting that who the Lions have on their board right now. And I see in the chat thread, our counselor Colosi even said the beauty is we don't know what the draft board looks like for Brad Holmes, and that's a luxury, right? It's the same sort of thing as when we're talking about, and if I talk about Steve Yzerman the same way we're talking in hockey, then that means we're absolutely in good shape. Oh, speaking of shape, how about working out or something like that? Where would you do that, gentlemen?
Obviously Planet Fitness, because Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. You can get a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $10 a month, but you can't pull up to Planet Fitness and forget the perks, because with the Black Card, you get perks and amenities such as hydro massage, unlimited tanning, full-body enhancement, along with access to over 2,000 gyms worldwide. So join in club or online at planetfitness.com, because it's Planet Fitness where, D-Mac?
Where your fitness is essential. Let's go.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
at work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Join the Woodward sports family and 100,000 other sports fans for the biggest parties for the Detroit Tigers home opener. Opening day, we will be broadcasting live from the Grand Slam Festival at 350 Madison from the biggest tent party in the D. Or check in with Woodward Sports at the block party with the Brass Rail, Love and Tequila, and Annex. Baseball season is here, and there's only one city that can handle Woodward Sports. See you in Detroit.
Madison and Randolph next to the music hall. Big D Energy just cruising along here. I like this jam. Sam doing a hell of a job with the audio, with everything you got to play. Sam Flannel doing the audio. Spencer Raxer on the ones and twos. Terry Foster, Darren McCarty.
Got a question, Bo Moose.
What's that?
Did we get a tally on the poll? What people enjoy most opening day for the Tigers or the first game of the Lions?
It was the Lions 56%, I believe. The Lions won.
I'm a little surprised by that.
Okay. Maybe it's just the type of year. We can dig into that. Maybe it's because the Tigers haven't given us much to do, and maybe because it's the weather at that time of the year.
Yeah, it's nice weather but for the Lions' first game,
September.
In September, and it's usually nice. I am a tailgate stealer or moocher. I walk past the tailgates.
You're America's guest.
And somebody's like,
I do
hey.
that at the golf courses too.
Yeah, I might
and
say,
the
damn,
tailgates.
that bratwurst sure looks good.
Absolutely.
Here, have one.
Hey, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's a free paper. That's my article.
You know what's the best thing I got?
What?
Grilled lobster tail.
Oh.
Gosh darn. That was Cousin's main lobster you walked by.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Absolutely. Anyways, we're going to talk some football here. Spenny put together some lists, calls it the over-unders, but I'm going to start with the first one. Over-unders on Uncle Terry's alcohol consumption tomorrow. I'm going to say 9 drinks.
Oh, I'm going over.
9. You think I'm going to hit double digits?
I think you'll hit double digits. It's opening day.
He sort of represented that it would be. I'm just seeing it as a commitment to
fun and buns.
Fun and bun.
And I'm going to try to not end up in Windsor.
Okay.
But
that's
if
my
you
goal.
do, that's my county. I can help you out.
That's fair.
Last time I was
but
there,
can you help me get back into the United States? That's a tough part.
Don't look at me, bud. Don't look at me.
Last time I did that,
I had to get back myself.
I tried to get over the Ambassador Bridge.
Over the bridge, under the tunnel. Anyways, Spenny's got some over-unders for the lines he put together. So, what do you got, Spencer?
All right, from the Spencer Raxter Sportsbook, I have these set. First things first, Jared Goff interceptions, over-under 9.5.
We're going to go there, huh?
Yep, first one. Starting off strong.
How many did you have last year? 7?
7.
I think they will be more open as an offense this year. They're going to try and risk a little bit more.
Risk it for the biscuit.
And I think because of that, it'll be higher. I'm going to go over.
I agree.
I'm going to say yes, because I think he's got to throw 11 or 12.
There's got to be a moment, at least one moment this Lions season, where Lion fans are going to say, that's not the guy.
Yep.
So, it's going to be over.
I think it's going to be about 11. Sam?
I am going to go over as well. I think last year...
You're a Goff hater.
No, I think there was an element of a little bit of luck and fortune with Jared Goff only throwing 7. He obviously still had a great year. I think that next year he'll also have a very good season, but maybe just throw a couple more, like 10 or 11, but still have a good season.
Here, hold on. Before you move on. Terry, what if it is under? What does that mean? What will that mean in the script of the season?
If the Lions are still trying to hit big plays to Jameson Williams and trying to go up top and it's under, that means they might win 13 games.
Wow, see? Absolutely.
But if they're still being conservative and stuff, probably win 11 games.
But still,
if it's
still a playoff team.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
The,
but if
the
they're
over-under for Vegas is 9.5. If the Lions hit the under, it would be a failed season.
For sure. And I agree with you guys. I'm going over on that. It's slightly over. I don't think he's going to have a disgusting amount of interceptions or anything, but you can't expect a guy to only throw 7 interceptions again. That was a great season. And like Terry said, they're going to be taking more deep shots, so he's going to put the ball in harm's way more often. But I think he'll have
more chances for a speeding ticket.
I like the 11. That's a good number. All right, next question. Next over-under from the Spencer Exeter Sportsbook. Kirby Joseph interceptions. 3.5. 3.5 interceptions for Kirby Joseph next season.
That's over. Now, what Kirby Joseph is battling is the dynamic between having another year of experience and the sophomore jinx.
And there's people in the back with him.
There's no Aaron Rodgers for him to pick on. But I'm going to go over. I actually think the dude can. Here's the reason, because he's always around the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say over too, because ball hawk, always around the ball. And now you've given him a little bit more security to be even more free in the secondary, to use that superpower and that skill. And if that secondary gets on the same page, he's a weapon, man. He's an absolute weapon. So,
Right.
I think
I'm assuming
he could have 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I'm assuming same old Lions is going to disappear, because same old Lions, dudes would have an interception and drop it.
That's where they play.
So
defense.
Kirby's not going to drop him this year.
Sam?
I am going to go over as well. Like you said, D-Mac, they have C.J. Gardner-Johnson being brought in and Tracy Walker hopefully coming back strong. It'll give Kirby Joseph more freedom to roam. And like we all saw last year, the ball just finds him. He's either intercepting a pass or he's creating a fumble. The guy just creates turnovers. Give me over 3.5.
I don't mind it. He's got some competition back there for sure, though, this year. I'd probably hit the over on that as well.
Hey, that's it, Spenny. I think you nailed it, because you know what? You mentioned the names that have been brought in, and these are guys that are team guys. But if he might not, say he might only have 3, but the defense has 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? They'll share it amongst themselves. We just think that Kirby Joseph's the one that sort of is the one that's special. The ball follows him around.
Yeah, for sure. And you heard a lot about Mike Tomlinson, or I forget who from the Steelers, said that Cam Sutton opened up Minkah Fitzpatrick and what he was able to do. And I think him and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson could have that same effect with Kirby Joseph. CJG.
Well, they hog all the interceptions. That's
scary.
What we gotta watch out for.
I think Kirby's going to be playing more center field. He'll be able to jump the balls. Next question. Aiden Hutchinson sacks. Over under, I'm setting it at... See, I think he's going to get 13.5, but that's too aggressive for a line. I'll set it at 11.5. Over under Aiden Hutchinson sacks.
Does he have Will Anderson next to him?
He does not, but he's got Jalen Carter in the middle.
I'm going to go under. I think he's going to have a good season, but I can see 10 or 11 sacks for him this year.
That's a good number, Spenny, and that I'm going over, man. I think that he's got that development and that learning capability. Like, I've watched Nick Bosa and I've watched, TJ Watt and these guys just sort of get better. To me, it looks like he's going to work and he's going to get better, and he's sort of just figuring it out as it goes along. So I think no matter who it is, he's going to get better. So I'm excited for him. I sound like flannel right now.
Yes, and to the shock of no one, I am going over as well. I think last year what we saw with Aiden Hutchinson is that he is the type of guy that has a Watt, Bosa, or Myles Garrett type ceiling, and this is the year where he sort of scratches the surface of it and graduates to being a Pro Bowler and borderline All-Pro. And I think the Lions are going to be ahead more, creates more passing downs. Aiden Hutchinson will feast. Give me the over.
I think another thing that may happen this year, and why I'm going under, is Aiden Hutchinson may try to improve his run defense. So instead of coming every time like hell for glory, he might stay back a little bit, take short, choppy steps, and look for that run a little bit more. Because, he knows the Lions are going to try to run against teams, and teams are going to try to run against the Lions. So he may be on the lookout for that a little bit more. And he's not going to have Will Anderson next to him.
He might. We'll see.
Okay. If it's Will Anderson, over.
He very well could. I'm going to go over that because, like I said, I think I got him at 13.5. I think he's going to take a lot of strides this year. I think he'll have Jalen Carter next to him, so that will help him not get as many double teams. Jalen Carter will draw those double teams, so I'm going to go over the 11.5.
Even if he doesn't get Jalen Carter, there's no guarantee the Lions.
Even if he doesn't get Jalen Carter, I think he'll be over 11.5.
I'm salty. Says Hutch ain't no Nick Bosa though, and I agree he's no Nick Bosa, but can we agree? I think he's got the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. He's got a Nick Bosa engine. When I see like that motor, it's just fine tuning that motor.
Well, you know what? We got the poor man's Mike Trout here in Detroit.
Well, I mean, and there's no shame in not being quite as good as Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's
He's
only
the best player in football.
Best defensive player on planet Earth. So even if Aiden Hutchinson never becomes Nick Bosa, being slightly short of Nick Bosa is still a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and
so
I think
all good.
he's got the potential to be a Nick Bosa type talent.
I agree.
If we're talking about Aiden Hutchinson being Nick Bosa light in 5 years, I'll take that.
I will too.
No, absolutely.
And Nick Bosa
Riley Greene's a poor man's Mike Trout.
Right, but he's homeless.
Very poor.
Well, who cares?
Nick Bosa light's like a 20 or like a 13 sack guy, so I'll take that. Next one on the Spencer Rackster Sportsbook. Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown receptions. 5.5.
I gotta go over for that. I just think, this is a special player. Now, he is not an elite receiver, but he's special. He's special from the standpoint that Dad's working on him now. He's gonna come back different than he was last year. He's tough. He gets open, and he can catch that ball.
All right, I'll say 6.5. That's what I wanted to go.
Going
but I thought that was too much.
My initial number I was thinking in my head was 7, so I'm going over.
Okay.
I love how the Spencer Rackster Sportsbook just changes it right mid conversation.
Fluctuates with the people.
Now I said it too easy, so I said, well, let me go up a little bit more and see if I can get him to sway.
He had what? He had 5 touchdowns in 2021 and 6 touchdowns in 2022.
And 7 this year. 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7. I don't mind it. Flannel?
All right, I'm going to go over on this one. I think when the Lions get to the red zone, Jared Goff is going to target Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's the receiver he's obviously most comfortable with. I could see him getting 5 or 6 red zone touchdowns only, and then maybe a couple more long ones. So give me about 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Thought he was going to have a big year last year. He only had 6 touchdowns. Just saying. Sportsbook's not
It's
that
less
far
than
off.
you think. I will give you that.
It is less than you think. I do think he'll go over as well, though. I could see him getting 7 or 8 this year for sure. And finally, David Montgomery rushing touchdowns. Not receiving, not all touchdowns, just rushing touchdowns. You got to think Jamal Williams got 17 last year. So I don't want to go too crazy with it. I'll set it at 12.5. 12.5 rushing touchdowns for David Montgomery.
I'm going to go under. David Montgomery's job isn't to punch the ball over from the 1. I think he's going to be asked, get me from the 20-yard line to the 5-yard line. And that's going to be that's going to be the thing. Now what's going to happen are people are going to look at him and say, well, he doesn't have 17 touchdowns like Jamal Williams, so he's a bust. No, he's got a different job to do than Jamal did. So I'm going to go under because there's so many other places they can go. Ross St. Brown,
Marvin Jones.
DeAndre Swift may even get a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, he very well could.
If I'm given, I got to go under because I thought he'd be right around 12, and I think that the way it's spread out, Marvin Jones is a guy around the goal line that can take some of those short possessions. So to Terry's point, I hope that it's over. You know, as long as it's punched in if they needed it. I don't care who scores it. So I'm going to go under also.
Ooh.
Plus they got the new fullback, Penei Sewell. They'll try to get a couple.
God, as much as I hate to say it, I have to go under as well. And it's no disrespect to David Montgomery. David Montgomery is more of a complete back who can catch the ball coming out of the backfield. A true third down back. So I don't think that he will be utilized as much in goal line. And what people have to remember, I know we don't think of Jamal Williams as fondly as we did when he was here, but 17 touchdowns is an absurd number. You don't just get that rolling out of bed. So I think David Montgomery will get between 9 and 12.
Okay. Plus, let me get historical on you guys. Who's the best running back in Lions history?
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. He averaged fewer than 10 touchdowns a season.
That's true.
But Barry Sanders also had a poop offensive line.
You only had what?
He had a terrible offensive line.
No, it wasn't terrible. No, they used
Glover,
to take.
Lomas.
He was a decoy a lot of times when they got inside the 5.
Yeah.
Because they didn't trust him.
A lot of play action tight end.
He always wanted to.
He was a juker.
Yeah, they also had hands of stone, but they would put in. They would take Barry out the game sometimes.
Schlesinger. Anyways, hey, everybody out there, especially in the Midwest and stuff with tornadoes and thunderstorms going on. I know Mama Jan said there's a light show up north and stuff like this. Be safe, but when all is said and done, if things go down and you need somebody to help you with the equipment repair, you know where to go. It's at Alta because uptime matters. Bing, bang, boom. They'll get you back on the road. Whatever you need at Alta. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a bog project or, hey, this weather knocks something down. Alta Rent, they got you covered. Give them a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
The Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
All right, cruising right along here. Big the Energy, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Thunder Wax, Sam Flail. They'll be back tomorrow. We'll be downtown, the corner of Madison, Randolph, right next to the music hall. All shows will be down there. We'll have the morning show, Adam and Jeff, and our show, then bottom line. Final word. We'll all be down
you
there.
have to ask Neil because when he comes, he's down in the land of controversy now. He's at Disney. Governor DeSantis is attacking Disney, and Disney's attacking back. So that's a big controversial.
How do you attack Disney?
There, people are mad because Ariel is black. So that's another controversy that's going on. So you guys have to ask Neil how he survived all that controversy.
Well, will you not come and join us for the time where your festivities?
I may escape for a little bit.
Come on over and enjoy a cocktail and give us an update of how your morning's going. What time do you plan on getting down there tomorrow?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah. So
And actually,
come on over like around noon or something.
My first drink will not be. It's not going to be a beer. My first drink is going to be. I met this woman in a coffee shop, and she made a special coffee that was delicious. She let me taste it, and she said if I come back, it's not on the menu on this place, but if I come back opening day, she'll make me one.
Wow. So
Damn.
That's where you're starting.
That's where I'm starting with coffee.
So are you making your way down? Can you make your way down and say hi to the people?
I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be all over the place.
I know, you should be. We need an update. We need a feeling good opening day. T. Foss, you deserve. All the people need to know that. Stuff like this. Before we get to the last segment, we got a little bit special. I wanted to go to Sam Flannel, and I wanted to get this update so I'm fully prepared before Neil gets back and then I get lost in the shuffle because everybody's yelling at each other. But I noticed something about a 5-star quarterback recruit landed by Michigan. I apologize. I don't know his name. I just know that I could go to Sam Flannel for some truth about it. Sam, I immediately thought of you because, oh no, what about JJ and all this stuff like this? So can you tell me who this young man is and how you feel about it, and does it matter?
Well,
and tell us how long you're going to wait until you want him to take over JJ's job.
Okay, so for the record, he's a 2024 class. So next year, J.J. McCarthy will have a great season. He'll go off and be drafted in the first round of the NFL. Then Jadyn Davis will be ready to take over, at least be in the fold in 2024. To me, I'm very, very excited about what Jadyn Davis can do. He had 43 touchdown passes last season in high school, over 70% completion percentage. He's accurate. He's got a good arm. He's mobile-ish, not quite as mobile as JJ, but to me, it represents that Michigan might be here to stay when it comes to at least their ownership of the Big Ten and hopefully actually doing something in the college football playoff. Because in order to win big at the level that Alabama wins and Georgia wins and even recently Clemson won, you have to keep getting 5 stars. J.J. McCarthy was a 5-star, and you saw in games at Ohio State and even in the Big Ten championship game and even in the college football playoff, although he did put them in a hole, some of the plays that he made to bring them back were elite. They also have Will Johnson, who's another 5-star, and then Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum are back. So to me, this just represents that Michigan is a true national player. They're getting another 5-star quarterback that might come in seamlessly right after J.J. McCarthy. So I'm looking for Michigan to become more of a QB factory, because obviously we know how there was a lot of disappointments from 2008 to 2021. I mean, some of the names like Brandon Peters and Dylan McCaffrey, do those ring a bell?
I thought Dylan McCaffrey was going to be good.
Dude.
I thought Dylan McCaffrey was going to be good.
Where did we recruit this guy from? Where did you?
He's from, I think, North Carolina.
So is the fact that you recruited out of there something important to show you that, hey, maybe people are looking at Michigan as players to be recruited and to come there? Is it bigger than people are making it, or no, it's that big?
Well, I'll tell you what, his closest school powerhouse would have been Clemson. That would have been not in his backyard, but close enough. And Clemson has obviously won a couple national championships recently and produced Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. Pretty good quarterbacks, if you ask me. So
and Taj Boyd.
Taj Boyd. Taj Boyd was he was good in college, but did nothing in the pros. How about Kelly Bryant?
Kelly Bryant. Legendary.
But yeah. I just think that Michigan, it could be a school that produces great quarterbacks. I mean, J.J. McCarthy, we kind of talked about how it didn't seem like the offense opened up enough. And for large parts of the season, it didn't, except when it had to at Ohio State, where J.J. McCarthy, I believe, cemented his legend. And Jadyn Davis is looking at that. He's not scared off by a more conservative offense. He wants to come play for Michigan. So I am ecstatic. I'm over the moon, and I should be. And it helped drown out the Hunter Dickinson pain a little bit.
How long does it take for Michigan to be a quarterback factory?
Let me go across the aisle over to the Michigan State side.
Yeah.
You, as a logical State fan, calls it as they see it. What Sam's saying, does it play to you that way, or how do you guys see it?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it sucks. Like, you don't want Michigan to get 5-star recruits, but it's a good player. We'll see if I hear it in the back, and it's the same things I heard about J.J. McCarthy is, oh, this is going to change. They're going to be able to use him. He's going to run. They're going to throw the ball down the field, and it's like, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it when they let him throw the ball 50 times a game. And I understand you don't have to when you're not. Yeah, you don't have to when you're playing the Big Ten and when you're playing Hawaii and, you know, Chicago School of the Blind and stuff like that. Like, you don't have to let him open it up. But that's if I personally was a top recruit, a quarterback top recruit, I wouldn't go to Michigan. I would go to USC or to Oregon or somewhere there where they'll let me throw the ball 35, 40 times a game so I can show the scouts on the next level what I can do. But I don't blame. I mean, obviously they're a great program. They've been to 2 straight, Final Fours, so you can't hate it. But I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it if Harbaugh lets a quarterback.
But you know they're telling him we're gonna let you throw the rock if you come here.
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
So. Well, we'll see how it plays out before we get to the last segment of You Bet Your Hair of Rich Diana. We will hear from SMA.
We will. Because SMA, or the Sports Marketing Agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. So if you or someone you know is struggling, make sure you head to thesportsma.com to get the help you deserve.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. 3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
All right, before we wind this up, Big D Energy, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel. It would be, we got the boss man coming back tomorrow, and Neil Rule. So that'll be downtown. We got to put down. The boys are getting the ropes ready. We just powered down the Hemis. We're getting ready to cruise into the dock. But we wanted to show you something that, we didn't pay attention when Neil was gone and stuff like this. So we perused the archives and we saw, Terry, exactly what was going on. Now, I thought he was on the toilet here, but I guess this is the Tower of Terror Now, and you don't know when it's going to drop. And if anybody's been to the Tower of Terror, it's the anticipation of death worse than death itself. But that's our boy. He's in it. He's living it. Who says that he doesn't get grimy and greasy and grind line? Letting it go. Have you ever been in that position on a ride at Disney World or anywhere else?
No, because I don't go on those rides.
Okay.
They scare the hell out of me.
Smart man. Flannel? You ever have that? You get the picture when you're going through or whatever like that?
I didn't get the picture, but there was this ride at the Illinois State Fair in the town where I'm originally born. It was called the Mega Drop. So it was the same sort of concept when you're up there and they don't tell you when you're going to drop, but after a while, you just don't want to do it anymore. When you're up there, you're begging for them to just be like, let me off, but the only way they're going to let you off is by dropping you.
Mega Drop your pants. How about you, Spenny?
I'll tell you what, the first time I went on the Val Raven at Cedar Point, it's my favorite roller coaster ever. I sat front row, and so it dangles you off the edge. And the drop on the Val Raven doesn't just go down; it goes in and down.
We got to do a Woodward Sports Cedar Point trip.
Oh, that would be so. I haven't been to Cedar Point in a couple of years.
Gabby,
that
drop. We got to do a Woodward Sports. Let's get it going. We got to do that this summer. That would be fun.
And
get a bus
you guys go on the roller coasters, and I'll try to win you.
The
big teddy bears at the
we leave all our stuff with Uncle Terry.
Hell yeah.
Right? He's got all the stuff sitting around him anyways.
And then when you come back, you're going to have alligators, stuff, bears, and everything. I won all the prizes for you guys.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Well, I didn't want to leave anything out, because I always slide away and we try to figure out what I can show and what I can't. But shout out, here's a picture from the weekend with my boy Tommy Vendetta. So that's, you could see we're doing a little death match. He put in work this weekend. Shout out to everybody at ICW, RPW, H2O, Matt Tremont, Chris, Danny DeMono, and stuff like this. So that's what we're doing, having fun. Showed out. We're going to be traveling, heading to other countries, heading across the water. Got some big things setting up. So congratulations to him. That's what
and we
I'm doing, continue to
set
do.
up that fight between you and Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah, absolutely we can. But before that, just so everybody knows, a preview for tomorrow night. If you have Access TV, there it is. Look at that headline. Bully and the Good Hands versus Tommy Dreamer, Yuma, and Darren McCarty right there. So my first appearance on Impact Wrestling, get my hands on Bully Ray. So shout out. Look at the brand there. Couldn't be prouder. That's what it's all about.
Awesome.
Having fun. So if you get a chance to check that out tomorrow night, shout out to Scott Demore and everybody else. Like I said, it's follow your passion. That's one of the things that you see. What I'm doing, trying to tie it all in, and things that I care about is health and wellness. And we all know that that plant saved my life. So it's all about options and how do I do it. So the reason to get involved also too is that if you feel better, right, and you have an option, then you think better, right?
Now, if I come to one of your shows, are you in fight mode? And if you see me, you tell me to go to hell?
No, Terry.
Okay.
No. It all depends. I might be in. If I'm inside the ropes, though, right? It depends if you
I'm
catch.
not going
It
inside
depends
the
if
ropes.
it depends what the storyline is. But no, when you get there, I introduce you to everybody.
Okay.
Maybe get you involved. Uncle T's, doing some move or something like that with the pin pad.
My biggest thing in wrestling, I once got chased out of the ring by the Sheik.
Well, that's
and he tried to hit me with his championship belt, but
and he
missed
probably
me.
well, that's the whole thing. And back in the day when you were doing the wrestling and stuff like that, that he was really trying to hit you.
My friend, back when we used to wrestle, my friend one of the kids that lives down my street, when my friends put my neighbor in the walls of Jericho, messed his back up for life. He still has back issues. He put him in the walls of Jericho. It was deep, and he still has back problems from it to this day.
No, that's well, you don't want that. There's tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
That's why you're not supposed to do these things at home. But like what you like. Everybody, don't forget we will be downtown tomorrow. Woodward Sports will be broadcasting 8:00. Sam Flannel will be down there with the morning show. Then Big D Energy. Then Bottom Line. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Come check out a brand new setup. So I hear, Terry. So that's why you got to come by and give your grade on the new setup. From what I hear, everybody's welcome. Look forward to it. Tigers play Houston tonight again, correct? Mm-hmm. All right, maybe they can win 3 in a row, come home 500.
It's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. And it's Masters Week, so Neil will be back. We'll talk some golf.
That's right.
Here tomorrow. Anyways, for Terry Foster, Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel, I'm Darren McCarty. Everybody be safe. Deuces. We're out.
Be good.